This is the shutdown that could very well just not end because nobody seems to be that interested in ending it. But for Americans who are on SNAP, this weekend is going to be where they're going to have to face the reality that, honestly, $188 in this economy is not even a whole lot of money for food, but it's going to go away.
I mean, luckily, we have the money to bail out Argentina to the tune of $40 billion. And by bailing out Argentina, of course, the Trump administration is helping to bail out the hedge funds invested in Argentina.
Anna Kasparian shreds Republicans and Trump for playing politics with people's lives, while millions of Americans face hunger. Check it out.
It's not a good look when the Republican Party won't concede on the one thing that's important here, which is add the subsidies to the Affordable Care Act so people's health care premiums don't double. And that's it. That's what the Democrats are asking for. But Republicans refuse to sign on to that. And if we're going to keep having this dysfunctional government situation or congressional situation year after year, I mean, they're still collecting my taxes. Why are they collecting my taxes? For what? And what's the important work that Mike Johnson is doing right now and the Republicans are doing right now? Does anyone know? I mean, there's some Republicans on the panel right now. Can you guys tell me the important work they're doing?
All Republicans want is for Democrats to do what Democrats have demanded others do time and time again. What Democrats themselves have done, vote for clean CRs.
Do you think that premium should double?
Do
you think premium should double?
That your party chose to have subsidies
This is a product of the Democratic Party's own doing.
Should the premiums double?
And now they're looking and they're trying to point the finger at the Republican Party.
It's a simple question. Should the premiums double?
Should they open up the government? The answer is yes.
The government will
open up the government
if they
we can
give
get into
the
those
Democrats the
negotiations.
one thing they're asking for, which is a just issue.
You want to
just
talk
issue
about
to fight
premiums,
for.
and we just talked about SNAP benefits. Who cares about health care when you cannot put food on the table? You have millions
SNAP
of
benefits
Americans.
are important too.
You have a lot of Americans that are going to be without food stamps.
So you want the
because of
Democrats to sign on to funding the government
And this is why
in a situation in which the premiums will double
we want them to do what they've committed to do time and time again.
What is the difference?
What is the difference of the bill? What is the difference for the bill that you voted for? What is the difference?
There's a big difference.
This is the new Democratic Party.
I have to say, it's amazing to get lectures on how much you care about SNAP benefits.
Because I have family members on SNAP.
Well,
yes.
then why did you support the president when he asked for and got $186 billion of cuts to SNAP?
They were cleaning up the program from waste, fraud, and abuse.
Oh my
you
God,
and I both
that
know
is
that.
all ridiculous.
Because you cannot
People
have a program.
Go hungry
No.
From those
straw
SNAP
man's
cuts.
argument.
No,
You
it's
cannot
not.
have
Those people. I'm sorry. You just
finish.
paid for 186. You took $186 billion out of the SNAP program.
This is the moment the mask falls away. You can't slash food stamps, brag about the cut, and then pretend to care about hungry families. This isn't about waste. It is about ideology. Punishing the poor because it teaches responsibility, while billionaires get bailouts because it protects markets. This is the clearest example of class warfare disguised as policy. This is the cold reality the panel dances around. People can't eat, but Congress can get to play games. Republicans refuse a basic subsidy, refuse to negotiate, refuse to lift a finger unless the Democrats cave in entirely. Yet somehow, there is magically $40 billion to bail out Argentina and protect hedge funds. That is selective compassion. Generosity for billionaires, what starvation for the working poor. This is what happens when politics becomes a sport instead of a responsibility.
$186 billion that will go
waste, fraud,
to
and
people.
abuse.
It's not waste, fraud, and abuse. It will. You like to say that, but it's actually false.
Look at what we actually
took
did.
The money, and you
but
took
this
the
is
money
the overall problem. What you're mad about is the passage of one big beautiful bill. You guys have to realize that elections have consequences, and your side lost.
Hold on one second. Just on the waste, fraud, and abuse point. Over the last 15 years, SNAP fraud has fallen from 4% to 1%. So there's already very little fraud in the SNAP program, according to the government.
$180 billion is a lot more.
Dude, the Pentagon hasn't passed a single
regardless of that, regardless of that, I mean, people who are on the program right now are going to not have benefits. I think it's interesting because the Trump administration says, There's $6 billion in the emergency fund. $8 billion is needed to cover the month of November. They're saying that they can't use that money because that money needs to be set aside for, hurricanes and other emergencies. But they've been willing to move money around for all kinds
for our
of
troops.
other
Abby.
For aviation safety.
all kinds of other. They've been willing to move money around
Democrats
for all
can't
kinds of
pass the
other
buck.
reasons.
No.
The question is, why not this one? Tara, let me
I
let
just
Tara
think
have a
that
moment.
we have to all acknowledge that these are political games that are being played by both sides.
Of course,
okay?
it's politics.
The
A
clean
Democrats could
CR
open
is
the
not a
government
game.
tomorrow, but they are using an old Republican tactic of closing the government to have leverage right now.
Who closed
okay?
the government?
This
This
is
the
a strange
Democrats who
thing.
closed
okay,
it.
but they are doing it for leverage. And
Who?
The,
The Democrats are.
Republicans realize that the Democrats are not
You have the
holding,
number
so
two
now
in the
they are
House.
withholding SNAP
You have the
benefits,
number
which
two
they could
House
also
Democrats
do-
saying that this is a
Okay, in
leverage play.
2000
Let's call it out. Both sides are playing politics, but only one side is blocking food for millions. Republicans could release SNAP money with a single signature. They have moved funds for aviation, military, and border issues, even political optics. But when it comes to feeding families, suddenly the rules matter. This is cruelty disguised as principle.
In 2018, they had the same
It's
risk.
2025.
You just let
No,
her
in
finish for just a second.
2018, they had the same risk of losing food stamps, SNAP benefits, and they went into another reserve to cover it during Trump's longest shutdown. Okay?
And that was the Trump
And
administration.
so the point is that both are withholding funds.
You all
and
are
aid
ignoring-
and ability.
you all are
If they would
ignoring-
just sit down and actually
So
talk
also let's
through having
just
this
address what
conversation
she
at all.
said, because she's arguing, and I think there's good reason to believe that obviously there are political games being played here. Democrats are keeping the government shut down until they get concessions on health care. And the Trump administration, which in the past has used other funds to cover SNAP benefits, is not doing it now. Why?
Okay, we have to step back for a moment. The Democrats have been getting rolled for the past 9 months by the President of the United States. They haven't had an answer for how to get after what the President has been doing, his historic agenda. So now they have their rally around the flag moment. We're going to stick it to Trump. Who they're really sticking it to is the American people. They're holding this government hostage for
I just
what?
want to let's just
If you
address.
open
let me
up
address
the
question
government,
that
we
I
can get to these
asked you.
negotiations about
No.
SNAP.
Let me re-ask you the question that I asked you, which is that we know that the Trump administration of the past has been willing to use other funds to cover SNAP benefits. We know that the Trump administration of present has been willing to use other funds to cover other emergency needs for people that need to be paid. Why will they not do this on the issue of food on the table for children under 5, children 5 to 17,
very clear of who's gonna be
adults over 60 years old, people with disabilities? I mean, is the answer as simple as they're not going to give Democrats anything, and maybe they think that this is going to
Abby,
hurt Democrats more?
If
That's
you
exactly
open up the
right.
government, guess
That's
what
exactly
happens?
right.
But-
People get
but-
SNAP
but I-
benefits
but
again.
I know-
You're pointing the
again,
finger at the President
I'm
of
not
the United
pointing the
States
finger
when
at
it's
the
the
president. I'm just
Democratic Party
asking
that is
whether-
holding the government
Listen,
hostage. Who came
Tara-
out today and
Tara's a
said this
journalist,
shutdown
so
has
she's
to
able
end?
to sort of put the politics
The
on the
Federal
table.
Workers
You're
Union
not
said this has to
acknowledging-
end.
You're not willing to acknowledge that politics is at play here. Is
What
it at
I'm
play?
saying is that the Democrats are playing politics with this shutdown. Have Republicans done it in the
both
past?
sides are playing politics. It's very
1000%.
clear.
Granted, hold on one second.
need
Granted,
4
hold on one
Democrats
second,
in the
Harrison.
Senate. 4.
Granted, the Democrats are playing politics with the shutdown.
With American people's
They are
lives.
playing the very same shutdown game that Trump and Republicans played in his first administration on
Are
several
we dealing with the
occasions.
shutdown of 2018?
But now
or
you're
2019?
playing the
Hold on a
whataboutism,
second.
right?
No,
You're playing
I'm
the
just saying,
whataboutism.
these are political games.
Can I
Hold on a
just-
second.
But you know
No,
what?
no,
The
you
people
just-
on
you
SNAP
just hold on a
benefits
second.
don't care about
I'm
that.
asking you.
They don't care about it.
Will you acknowledge that the withholding of SNAP benefits in this moment is something that Trump doesn't have to do?
The administration can look at many ways to solve this problem. Look at what they're doing for our troops. Look at what they're doing for aviation safety. Is there a way to do it? I bet you Secretary Rollins is
Yes,
looking at it.
there- so
but the
there is.
one
Okay,
thing,
so there's- yes.
I
can you
appreciate
acknowledge
that.
can you acknowledge that if the Democrats open up the government, we don't have to have a conversation about
Can I
SNAP?
just make a point
Hold on
here?
one second, everybody, just a second. Let me just say, I appreciate that you acknowledge that there are options on the table. They're not being utilized.
If you could
The
acknowledge that the
second-
Democrats
but
can open up the
secondary-
government and this problem won't be a problem.
This is the ultimate blame shift. Republicans create the shutdown, refuse the subsidy, block emergency funds, slash SNAP, and then say it is the Democrats' fault that you are hungry. That is gaslighting on a congressional level. Starving the public, then blaming someone else for the hunger. And the worst part is that they are proud of it. Let me know your thoughts on the story in the comment section below. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And remember, always keep thinking.
Literally
You
just
don't
said
think that one
The
concession to
secondary-
Democrats is okay? Like just
not-
one
it's not
concession,
just
which is
one
the
concession.
subsidies for the
No.
Affordable Care
Not
Act,
to
so
show-
premiums
to hold
don't
up this
double.
entire
That's
government?
the one thing they're asking for.
When we got people
one
on
thing.
furlough?
One
No.
thing.
Hold on,
Can
let
I
me
just-
let-
Because we
Can
know
I
what
just-
this
No,
country is
because
about.
we love that premiums
Because
are
you're
going to
mad-
double.
because
We
you're
love
mad
it.
that
We
we
love it.
passed
Let
one
all
big
these
beautiful
Americans
bill.
suffer.
I think we're really sad.
Go ahead.
guys.
Go ahead.
Can I just say how I predict this will end? This will end. I'm not sure who will wave the white flag first. I doubt it will be Trump, but he will end up giving the concession of the subsidies. He's already said it. He knows
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah.
But
impacting
he's
Why not do it
said it.
now?